have you heard of the ongoing Kasparov-Anand match?
I have, and what a surprise! Garry Kasparov is still a menace. My gosh, he's such a good player, and he's not that young anymore. Unbelievable.
Yeah. So given the current match between these two amazing players, I thought we would see one of their historic games. Of course, there are many that they have played throughout their careers, but I liked this one because it was, of course, a tactically very, very beautiful game,
Mhm.
and it can teach us some valuable ideas in the Sicilian defense.
Fantastic. I am looking forward to this. Okay, so Garry was
Yes.
white and Vichy was black. Okay.
Exactly. And the game is from 1991, but of course, I have played many, many games. And
1991.
we see the Sicilian. Of course, both of them have played the Sicilian, but Garry was more known for playing it with black, of course, but
Yeah.
he has played it with white as well. So, if you had to guess, what do you think their score is between one another?
Oh, that's a great question. That's a great question. Okay, this requires a little bit of thinking. So I think the prime of Vichy was kind of taking over when Kasparov was about to leave the chess scene, not forever, but like for at least a while. I I would say Vichy would have a lead.
It's actually the opposite. Kasparov has a lead.
Oh wow, I was wrong.
But of course, the main result it was a draw, so they have more than 50 draws
Oh,
in in all sorts of time formats. But in terms of wins, at least from what I could see in the Mega, I looked at it there because it's always really hard to keep personal
yeah.
score. But the Mega includes all the games, and what I could find was that Kasparov had 27 wins, while Anand had 10.
Oof, that
So
is actually huge difference. My
it is a
gosh.
margin, but probably because Kasparov had his peak earlier.
Mhm.
So, sort of when Vichy was an up and coming player, probably they have played more when Garry was on his peak.
Could be. Yeah, I might have mixed it up. Yeah, interesting. Interesting to know. Yeah, Garry. Well,
But of
what to
course,
say?
every game was exciting, including this one. This was the Sicilian, and it's the Sicilian Taimanov, which I really really like myself, and I've played it many times as both colors.
Hmm.
And this is the main setup with the pawns on e6 and on a6. Here, white chooses to play bishop to d3. It's maybe not the most popular, but there's nothing wrong with this move. The other more popular variations are going like this and trying to castle long. Also bishop e2, and then going for castles, trying to play f4 potentially. So things like that.
Hmm.
But in this game, bishop to d3, so that changes things a little bit. Black develops,
Have you
and
ever played the Taimanov or against the Taimanov yourself?
I have played the Taimanov a lot myself,
Aha.
so I am more familiar with these positions as black,
Hmm.
but as white as well, I really like playing against it because I know everything that I find annoying
Mm.
as black. And what's funny is that I had an exact game that also went through this move order
Funny. Okay.
this summer.
Oh,
This summer in Spain.
the
But
circle
I'll
closes.
Yes, I can show you how it went. But here, but the thing is, maybe they knew that this was theory, but I didn't know it was theory back then. So here, black plays knight to e5. It might look a bit unnatural, but it is one of the main moves. So the point is that, of course, you want to play knight g4 if you can. You can sometimes take this, but in general, you just improve the knight's position. But it does have a consequence that it will get kicked out with f4.
Hmm.
So white goes h3, the most logical move. Now bishop to c5. This is a better place here for the bishop than the other two common ones, which are e7 and b4. And here we're just trying to prevent f4 a little bit more than usual.
already looks a little wild. I guess it's totally normal, but like for a player like myself who's not playing the Taimanov, this looks
Yeah.
like intense already.
I'll tell you right away. Basically, there's a very, very thin line for black to be okay in these lines, which is what like I find when I play this as
Uh-huh.
black. But if you make it, then life is good. But there's sometimes a very thin line between being equal and being totally fine and suddenly being worse or totally lost, which we actually see in the game too.
Mm-hmm.
Garry plays king h1, so that's to prevent the threat of that bishop. d6 is a common move, and now f4. And the main question here is, where do you think the knight should go?
Mm-hmm. That is the real main question. I mean, we have 3 spots. Only 2 look more or less logically. Probably both are possible. Huh. So knight g6, of course, and knight d7 are the 2 main options. And I think knight c6 is also a possibility. I would have to calculate if knight g4 is... no, it's not working. It's just not working.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would go for knight g6.
g6. You picked the right one.
Phew.
You picked the right one. There's also knight d3 as a possibility.
True. Yeah, I didn't
So that's
even
actually what happened in
consider
my
that. Yeah.
game.
Ah, okay.
But and of course, I saw rook to c1 that comes after it, and you see that white has a pretty strong center. The rook is here. Although there's nothing super wrong with the position, it's just unpleasant to play
Yeah.
with all of these pieces, and the knight for the bishop exchange isn't really giving black a huge advantage while the position is not too open.
I often think, and maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I often think like moves like taking the bishop is this idea of like, I want to keep this bishop pair, I want to have the bishop pair, maybe I'm swapping a couple of more pieces, and when I have the bishop pair, I might be good. Is that, or is it
No,
like
oh
not
well,
necessarily?
not always.
Mhm.
No, it's just out of like not wanting to spend a move with the knight and put the knight in a vulnerable position
Okay.
more so than that. But yeah, that bishop is sometimes a very strong piece actually in a lot of these Sicilian lines. But here it's a bit unpleasant just because white has much simpler future
Yeah.
plans
Looks
and threats right away.
looks a lot of fun for white, to be
So you
honest.
picked the right option with knight to g6. This is the best. So then the future plans for white are, of course, to attack the knight. But anytime that happens, the knight can go back to e5. And usually the
Wow.
lines go like this, where black starts his own thing. White is, of course, trying to attack there. So it gets very, very complicated to the point where the one of the main theoretical moves is rook f3 that most people end up playing. It's a bit
Wow, I like it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The idea is clear.
Yeah, the idea is there,
Ooh.
but it does get a bit unclear.
Yeah,
But in the
okay.
game, Vichy plays knight c6, and that ended up being a mistake.
Oh dear, okay.
And the reason why that's a mistake is because of e5.
Okay.
So if white can
Takes.
ever get this move to actually work, this is basically the dream.
Okay. So what's happening here? Okay, now I have to
Yeah.
think about this. So I okay, of course. I see some interesting ideas with knight taking on e6, right?
That is there as well.
But maybe
There's
there's even
another option
something
of it.
nicer. Yeah, knight f5? Or
Not f5,
oh no,
no.
is it knight b5?
It is knight b5. So if
Ah.
you play the Sicilian, which I know you don't as much, Arnie, but that is the one thing that a lot of Sicilian players always have to watch out for, especially in these structures,
Hmm.
is if knight b5 works or not. Sometimes even when the pawn is here on b5, you always look at the sacrifices of two pawns,
Okay.
of a piece for two pawns. But knight b5 is sort of the winning move here, because if you get this knight for this bishop, it's very, very bad news for the black king.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, and not just the bishop, but just the knight is gonna show up and
It
go to
looks
d6.
horrendous. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So this would be lost. And not sure in which what exactly Vichy missed in one of the variations, there's definitely more to look at. If something like this, then this is also very, very good for white because of king safety and piece development.
Hmm.
So he decides to go for knight to e5, making things a bit more complicated. Gives up a
Okay.
piece because now this knight has to choose a place of where to go, and Vichy hopes to win back that bishop on e6, on
Yeah.
e3. So what do you think white does?
That's such a great question, Svitlana. um, you know what? I wonder if white still goes knight b5. I wonder if it still works.
Yes, so that's one of the possible moves. He played bishop to b5 in the game with quite similar ideas,
Oh,
but knight d to b5 is also winning. So you give back the piece, so white is not really playing with too much risk. And the problem is that always weak b5 square. That becomes a huge issue, and not just an issue, but just actually wins
yeah.
everything around the king. And the same problem if queen takes, then there's knight e4, I would say. So black's pieces and mainly the king are just in trouble.
Hmm.
In the game, he plays bishop to b5 with quite similar ideas. Now, a takes b5, knight takes b5, and queen to b6. So the
Hmm.
material is, well, quite even. Maybe black has an extra pawn, but that doesn't matter because this knight gets its place on d6, and we get here.
Okay.
So that's the other interesting moment where Garry found a really nice tactic. What do you think it might be?
Hmm. It doesn't look to me as if taking on f7 is helpful yet. I
Like,
wonder if it is. I'm seeing something. I mean, I might have to think a bit longer, but at one point the queen. So the square e4 looks interesting.
yeah, knight e4 you want?
Yeah, but in
I think it's
which
the main move
order?
to consider here, actually.
Okay.
Knight e4, yeah, it's good. It's just that after queen d4, you need to move the queen, not trade it, and play rook d1
Oh,
next.
that's nice.
And the upcoming attack is pretty good.
Okay.
It is a good line.
But
Um,
there's an even funnier line.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
What could that be? Is it taking? No, no, no. Oh, there is something. I mean, this is this moment when the people who like tactics smell that there's something in the air. You just have to
That
find the
might that might just be Kasparov, actually.
or just Kasparov. Yeah, that could be. So I cannot find it at the moment. You have to help me, please.
Okay, so one more capture that we haven't considered yet is rook to f6.
I've considered it, yeah, but I
Oh,
wonder.
okay. So there is stuff to calculate. Of course, we don't consider the king taking. That's a bit too far. The king is going to get mated with so many.
Yeah, I
Actually,
mean, we just take a
probably
queen,
we
I
just win
guess.
the queen
Yeah.
first. But I wanted to find some queen h4 mate, but I don't know if it exists just yet. So we just win the queen. And instead, g takes f6 is the main move.
Mm-hmm. And
Now the knight
now,
can come to e4.
exactly. And the next, at one point, the queen will go to h5, I guess, right?
Yes, exactly. Queen h5, that's exactly what happens. Rook f6, f8, so
Uh-huh.
black is playing only moves.
Queen h4?
Queen h4 is exactly the idea that we're going for.
So queen
So
h6 is even better, right? No.
both of them work. He chose something else. He chose to
Oh.
play rook d1
Rook
first.
d1 is also very nice, I think, to get all the
Yeah, but
pieces
it's
into the attack.
yeah, exactly. That's exactly what he tries to do. But it does have a very unique moment. So now he plays queen h4 to attack f6, even though I think it's totally reasonable to just attack it right away.
Hmm.
It probably wins as well. But here, after queen f4, black now has a defense. So
Mm.
far, everybody, Garry has been very precise, but Vichy has also been defending well to the point where there is now only one winning move left in this position. And I would say it's really not that obvious.
Okay. Well, what could that be? One winning move which is not that obvious. Okay, so here's my idea. But I can only maybe assume it because you say it's not that obvious. What if we take our queen to e1 and maneuver it over to b4?
Okay, yes, you're basically there. Queen e1 was the move that he played. Um, and it's the only winning move. Well, it's probably because you just want to avoid the queen trade,
Yeah.
and all the other places are not as threatening. But this move is insane to me because it has the idea of bringing the queen to the other side, and that ends up being really deadly. So to prevent that queen b4, he plays rook a4, and
Oh my god. Didn't even think about the
instead the
possibility.
queen goes to c3.
Oh, nice.
So now it's not possible to take this knight because of knight f5 coming
Uh,
up with the checkmate.
oh, wow. Okay, I thought a queen c7, bishop d7, knight, then f5, right?
Yes, very, very similar. So instead, rook came here,
Mm-hmm.
and after this trade,
Whoops.
Black wanted to give a perpetual, but Garry politely declined because
There is no perpetual.
there's no perpetual. There's no more checks left.
Oh, the brutality, the checkmate. You cannot take the knight.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
But that was the game. It was quite a short one, but still there was a lot going on in every move.
Spectacular.
And of course, but it was very, very hard to choose one game between the two of them because they have so many good ones.
Yep.
And yeah, we have a lot to learn from their games, and I hope to see them play even more in the future. And I really want to see how this match goes. And I'm really glad that, there's people out there who organize tournaments like this between two older legends.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Thank you so much, Svetlana. This was super informative and really interesting. See you next time.